Welcome back to 33 Dreams of Indy. I'm your host, Robert Earl, and today I am joined by an up-and-coming star in the USF 2000 series, Ayrton Ori. Ayrton is right down the street from me in Orlando, Florida, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Fantastic. So you are currently a freshman in prep school there in Orlando. How are studies going? Probably had a lot of homework after the last couple of weeks, huh?
Yes, it's been a real hectic because with racing, school is a bit unbalanced, but I've been able to manage.
That's good. That's good. Same balance. I was interviewing Colin Kaminsky, and he's at University of Pittsburgh. So I caught him between classes, and it's something that you drivers are really having to do. So I did a little research here. You were an F1600 teammate with Josh Green. I think it was 11th in the final standings despite missing a number of races. So good job on getting those. How big was the jump from the F1600 car to the USF 2000 car?
At first, I was actually really nervous that I was not going to be able to handle the jump. But when the first time I got in the car, I immediately loved it, and it didn't feel as different from the F1600 car. I just had to manage carrying more speed to the turns and the downforce. But other than that, it was really cool.
Yeah, having that opportunity is fantastic. Talk a little bit about Legacy Autosports, preparing you and the car for it, and then we'll talk a little bit about the team.
All right. The team has been really helpful with my growth. I would not have been as fast as I was if it was not for the team preparing the car as well as they did and helping me get better. They really are helping me a lot with this, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah. The team is just full of heritage with the Myers family and IndyCar racing. That must have been extremely special to be connected with that team.
Yes, it is really special. Mike's father started the tradition of drinking the milk at Indy, and I'm hopefully I'll be continuing that tradition.
Well, that's why we talk about the dreams and the folks that are dreaming of being one of those 33 that goes in there. Zach Holden was a teammate with the rides that you were doing. He scored a podium at Portland. Must have been nice to have a quick teammate. Was there a lot of interchange there?
It was really cool to have him as a teammate, and it's still really cool to have him as a teammate. He's taught me a lot about the car, and he's really helped me understand the car more. And I really would not have been able to be as fast as I was without his support too.
How do you think you helped him?
I think I helped him actually. I think I helped him with contrasting data, and because with the data, some data traces, I'm better on some parts of the track than he is, and he mostly, it's just a balance between him and me on the track, and I think that we both can learn a lot from that, from the data, because I can learn from where he's faster, and he can learn from where I'm carrying more speed and I'm faster.
That's great experience, especially seeing it happen on the road to Indy, because you're bringing a fresh perspective to the team. You're bringing something new, and that sharing of data and that sharing of information and your enthusiasm for just being able to get in the car and being able to go with it, that's got to spill over to the entire team, and it's very present in what you do. Was the Corkscrew everything that you imagined?
It really was. It's I will say it's not like falling off the face of the earth as they say it is, but it was incredible. They really cannot see the track come out from under you, and
that's falling off the face of the earth as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
If they put that ride in Orlando, I think lots of people would show up for it.
Yeah. But Florida's pretty flat, so.
Yeah, that's true from that standpoint. Why do all the drivers, and why do even yourself, why do you rave about Laguna Seca? What is it about Laguna Seca as far as a track?
I think as a track, it shows the capability of what a driver can do and the history of it. And the track layout. The track layout, it's very technical, and you have to be very ready for everything on the track. Because to turn 3, it almost looks like it's 90 degrees, and you can carry a lot of speed through there.
Okay.
But most of the time, but you actually have to overslow the turn, because on the exit it's more than 90 degrees, and you really have to get the car planted everywhere to do good on that track.
Be able to do that. Is there another track that you've been on before that helped you with that, or is a parallel to that, and that you could draw from experience, or was some of it just brand spanking new for you?
Some of it was new for me, but a lot of it actually it was kind of like the track VIR and the track Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And it was because Pittsburgh, you have to carry a lot of speed through the turns, and it's a bunch of uphills and downhills. And I think that really contrasts with the Laguna Seca.
I could go one or two directions here. We could talk about the speaking that you've been doing, because I see you rubbing elbows with astronauts. I see you getting ready to be a featured speaker for an anti-bullying. And then also we could go the direction of getting into racing. So which one do you want to talk about?
Speaking.
Speaking. Okay. So tell me a little bit about how is it? I had the opportunity earlier this year. I drove across the state and went to see a Falcon Heavy 9 lift off there at Cape Canaveral. Just was absolutely blown away by that. So how do you get to rub elbows with astronauts, and what were you speaking about?
I was speaking about how I developed as a driver, and I started off in karting when I was 5.
Okay.
And I said at the speech, I started off in karting when I was 5. My dad got me into a go-kart. I loved it from the moment I sat in it.
I see that competing in Skip Barber racing, in karting from the age of 5, being able to compete all over the United States, Canada, and Australia. Is that correct, with the 1600s?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fantastic. So that's quite an inspiring story, and sometimes we don't know what's going on in the inside of somebody when we make judgments on the outside, and I'm sure that fits into your anti-bullying message on it that goes through. Want to give young drivers such as yourself an opportunity to give a shout out to sponsors. Without the sponsors, the wheels do not go around. So go ahead and thank the sponsors, and then also your partners. And I know your family is very instrumental. You already mentioned your family being helpful to you, but your partners that are involved as well.
My partners are sorry, I dropped something there. My partners are Spray 9, Poya, Permatex, Screw Glue, the Human Growth Foundation, Alpine Stars, Bell Racing, and I just want to also thank the team for this for help giving me this opportunity to drive their car and perform at an elite level. Yeah. And I want to thank my family for doing this, because I wouldn't have been able to get here without them. They've really done a lot for me.
Yeah, and I also always want to piggyback on that. That Road to Indy series is really something else, and even the way that you're able to make the transition, although they're not run by the same organization, from that F1600 to the USF 2000. They really thought it through. Dan Anderson and Anderson Promotions and the Cooper Tires and the Road to Indy folks. So it's really fantastic for that. Off-season plans, seat time. You're in Florida, so you get to take advantage of. I was talking with Stingray Rob, and he was like, "Yeah, it's going to be snowing here in a couple of weeks in Idaho, so you get to take advantage of it." Have you also driven at Ocala, the go-karting? Are you still doing karting? What's your off-season seat plans, without giving away any information about next season? We don't have to do any of that.
Well, my off-season plans, I'm going to be doing the Chris Griffiths test, hopefully, and some winter tests at Sebring and other tracks. Okay. And another thing that I'm doing is actually the Say No to Bowling Festival in Los Angeles.
Okay.
next weekend.
That should be exciting to be able to go over with that. And Sebring is a challenging track. And then as of the time that we're recording this, we're 168 days from cars being back on the track at our home track of St. Pete to be there. So it'll click down real quick. You already mentioned about the Indianapolis 500, but I want you to dream with me for a little bit. What would it be like to start the Indianapolis 500, and have you had the opportunity to go to a 500 yet?
I have actually never been able to go to a 500 ever. I went to qualifying once, and that was incredible. But I've never had the opportunity to go there. And I think.
What would it be like to start the race?
I think starting the race would be like any other start, but I mean, of course, you will have a lot more pressure on you, and you'll be an IndyCar. So I just would be. I'd be ready for it. I'd be ready for an incident or something like that on the first lap, or anything else that would happen. Yeah. And at the start, I just really think that I'd just be thinking about the strategy for the race.
I guess the parallel I could give to you, because this year was my 20th straight Indy 500 of going to it, is the little amusement parks that are in Kissimmee that are along the side of the road that have the little rides, etc. Yeah. And then compare that to Disney World. That's what Indianapolis is. When you get that opportunity on race morning to feel the energy build up, and I'm sure that next year and even getting to run there in October, the place talks to you and it has its own life and its own energy, and it'll be fantastic for you to get to start to experience that of throwing a car into the turns there and being able to go through it. So it'll be exciting to see that journey for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I will. It definitely will be.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I appreciate you taking the time for this, allowing us to have an opportunity to promote you, the series, and up-and-coming stars such as yourself. You can read something in a press release, but getting to know you a little bit, and I love the support that your family's given you, and can't help but root for a Florida driver, and going to continue to do that. And look forward to seeing you, hopefully at one of the, if not the Sebring tests that are coming up, then we'll definitely see you at our home track there in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, well, I will too. Yeah, we'll do.
Fantastic. So go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say thank you for having me too.
Oh, you bet. You bet. It was quite a pleasure. Please subscribe. Go ahead and click on the links that are below this video or where you're listening to this. We're on all of the major players now, so that you'll be able to click and subscribe. And until next time, keep dreaming.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed this video from 33 Dreams of Indy. It would mean the world to me if you would click subscribe so that you could be notified of any new videos that come along.